Hey guys, David with the Wholesalers Toolbox. I want to talk to you about virtual wholesaling today and who should do it, why it's great for new wholesalers just getting into the business, why it's good for established wholesalers, and just, the overall virtual wholesaling process. So let's get started and just talk about what virtual wholesaling is. Okay, virtual wholesaling is wholesaling properties in a market that you're not in. Okay, so let's say you're in a little town in Nebraska and there's not much of a market where you're at. Well, you might decide that you want to be a virtual wholesaler in Dallas, Texas. And maybe you're from there, maybe you have friends there or family there, maybe you've never been there at all, but you just like Dallas, Texas for some reason, or Miami, Florida, or Phoenix, Arizona, or wherever the market might be. So you don't have a market where you're at, so you pick another market that has a robust investor market that you can do deals in. Okay, so then you pick your market, and if you have a website, you design your website for that market. If you start sending mail, you're going to send mail to that market. You're going to get your buyers for that market, and that's just where you're going to work. So you're doing it virtually. You're doing it from your computer. You're doing it from your cell phone, and you're not in that town, whatsoever. So that's what virtual wholesaling is. Okay, you might be in a bigger city. You might be in Chicago. You might be doing good business, but you just decide that you want to expand and put more irons in the fire. So you might pick someplace in New Jersey or someplace in Indiana or wherever. So virtual wholesaling is just wholesaling over your computer in a city that you're not in. Okay, so who is wholesaling virtually good for? Well, it's good for, like I just mentioned, existing wholesalers if you want to expand your market, but it's also great for brand new wholesalers, and I want to explain why. So, the biggest problem that I see people having getting started in the wholesaling business is they just don't have any experience in any of it, right? It's they don't they're nervous approaching people. They're nervous in negotiating. They have struggle with determining what the values of the house are. They struggle with determining what the rehab costs will be. They just all of it is so brand new to them. It's just hard. Once you get some deals done, it gets easier. But when you start out and you don't have any clue on any of it, it's rough. And it's people might not want to think of it as a sales job, but it's a sales job. You're going out, you're selling yourself, you're selling your service, and if you don't have any experience in sales and with just dealing and negotiating with people, it's scary. Nobody wants to take that first step. And I suggest all the time to people that they go out to real estate investor meetings and just get used to talking to other people and network with people in the business. And a lot of people even have problems doing that because it's so scary for them to go out and do something that's new for them. So virtual wholesaling gets you into the game with really out having to do all that stuff, and in if you do it a certain way. All right, if you're sending out mail and you're having people call you, you're still going to have to talk to them and negotiate with them and all that, but there's a way to do it where you don't have to do those things, and you don't have to go look at houses, and you don't have to negotiate, and you don't have to calculate ARV, and you don't have to write up the contracts, and you don't have to do any of that stuff. And it's kind of, I guess we'll call it reverse virtual wholesaling. Okay, so the way you would do that is if you pick a market that you want to virtual wholesale in, and it can even be your own market if you're in a bigger city. But you pick a city that you want to be in, and like I always suggest, you just go out and start building your cash buyers list, okay? Because it's no matter what kind of wholesaling you're doing, that's what you should do first. Build that cash buyers list, know who's buying in your market, okay? And there's a page on my website, the wholesaleerstoolbox.com, that tells you how to build your cash buyers list. But you can put out signs, you can put ads on Craigslist, you can do a number of things to do it. You can get the cash buyer data feed and have a list of all of them. So there's a dozen ways to build your cash buyers list. So you build your cash buyers list. So you've got you don't have to have 1,000 cash buyers. You can have 10 really good ones, or 5 really good ones, but start building your list so you know who buys in this county, and you know who buys over here, and you know what they're buying and what they're looking for and where the hot spots are and all that, and just become an expert on where the investors are buying in your market, okay? And then you're going to connect with other wholesalers, and you can do this virtually as well, but just there's some ways to find them. They're also posting ads on Craigslist. They're putting up signs around your town, the We Buy Houses sign. They're at the RIA meetings. There's so you can find the other wholesalers in your area, and you're going to get on their list of when they get a property under contract, that they'll send it to you, okay? And then you're going to start playing matchmaker and putting those wholesalers and your cash buyers together when they get a deal. And so you might ask, well, why would another wholesaler send their deals to me if I'm just a wholesaler myself? And that's because not all wholesalers are good at building relationships with cash buyers. So they can go out and find houses and get houses under contract, but they might not have a list of good cash buyers. And a lot of wholesalers set on deals and end up losing them because they can't find a cash buyer, or their deal might not be suited for the cash buyers that they have. So if you have a big list, okay, a big list of cash buyers, and they typically get deals in one county, and then all of a sudden they get one in another county, none of their buyers want it, you'll have one that you can play matchmaker with and hook up a deal and share in that commission. So why is this good for a brand new wholesaler? Well, they're marketing, they're spending all their money doing the marketing, they're spending their time going around to the houses, checking them out, they're negotiating, they're calculating the costs and the after rehab value and the and the rehab costs and all that stuff. So it's great for a new wholesaler because you don't have to do any of that stuff. But yet in the other hand, you're building those relationships, and you're building your cash buyers list, and you're networking with other wholesalers. And then as you build those relationships, they can walk you through the process. Maybe start going out and looking at houses with them, or whatever. Them going out to lunch with you and telling you how they calculate rehab costs or whatever. But if you want to get into the game and you're a new wholesaler and you don't want to spend marketing money to send out all those leads or buy bandit signs or all that stuff, virtual wholesaling in this way is great for you. Now, let's talk about experienced wholesalers. If you're an experienced wholesaler, you're doing deals, but you want to scale up, all right? And you don't want to spend, tens of thousands of dollars a month on marketing, sending out mail and going around and putting out bandit signs. You just don't have time for that. You can use the same process. You can network with other wholesalers in your city or in different cities, build that cash buyers list that you already know how to build, and start playing matchmaker yourself and doing more deals. And you know what? Usually on a virtual wholesale deal, or we'll call it a JV deal, if you're splitting it with another wholesaler, you're getting 50%. So 50% just to hook them up with a cash buyer is a good deal. So this is the way to do it. If you're brand new in the business and you want to get in somehow, and you're nervous doing it on your own, think about virtual wholesaling. Like I said, even if it's in your own market, think about virtual wholesaling. If on the other hand, if you're a experienced investor and like I said, you want to scale up, think about doing this, because it's there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of new guys out there, new girls out there that got hustle, and they can go out and find deals, but they want to connect with an experienced wholesaler like you to help them, walk them through the paperwork or help find a buyer and all those things. So it's great for you too. So that's my advice on virtual wholesaling. That's my strategy on it versus doing the marketing myself. I like other wholesalers to do the marketing, and I'll just help them with the buyers and with the paperwork and with walking them through the process and all that. So think about it. Think about doing it this way. You can do this all on your own. Go to the website, thewholesalerstoolbox.com. Go into Wholesaling University, and I talk about how to find a investor-friendly title company, and you can do that in another city. How to find cash buyers, and how to do all those things, and just implement it, and pick a city and do it and try it if it's your own city or if it's another city, and then you can do this all on your own. If you want some tools to help you, there's tools there too. The cash buyer data feed, I recommend that to everybody because it just eliminates all your time going out and finding cash buyers, because it's literally a database of every cash buyer in the nation, and you can pick your city and just get a list of everybody currently doing deals. So that's a great tool. And then I for years promoted the 10-hour wholesaler program, which gets very detailed into doing what I just explained to you, how to meet up with other wholesalers, how to be a matchmaker, and how to make these deals happen. So if you want to streamline the process, cash buyer data feed and the 10-hour wholesaler program, and get yourself a website. Investor care websites are a great website to use. Links are all that, to all that are on the page. I'm going to link this video to my virtual wholesaling page. Lays out all the steps for you, and then at the bottom there's the recommended products if you want to get it. If not, still do it. This is a great way to get into the business, or if you're in the business, to increase your deals. So that's it for virtual wholesaling, and I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.